Hey guys, so let's start this deck tech off with the land base. I'll probably say this later on as well, but this is for my Horde of Notions 3.5 version now. I call this 3.5 because of a recent addition that will be coming as soon as Dragons of Tarkir comes out. However, I've altered the deck recently beforehand, so let's get into it. So in the basic lands, we just have a plains, an island, a swamp, a mountain, and a forest. That's it. Literally 5 basic lands in the entire deck. In the fetch lands, we have a flooded strand, a polluted delta, a verdant catacomb, windswept heath, marsh flats, bloodstained mire, and wooded foothills. In the shocklands, we have steam vents, breeding pool, stomping ground, temple garden, godless shrine, blood crypt, sacred foundry, and hallowed fountain. In that same kind of fetchable zone, we also have dryad arbor and murmuring bosk. In the bounce land category, we have a kind of special one in Rith's Grove, and the Rakdos Carnarium and Azorius Chancery. In the utility lands, we have Reliquary Tower, Strip Mine, and Boseju. In the special 5-color lands, we have Command Tower, City of Brass, Lotus Vale, and Reflecting Pool. That's it for the land base, guys. Hope you guys enjoy, and see you in the next part. Hey guys, it's Storm. So, I kind of watched a couple of my own videos, and I've been noticing that I'm a little bit on the quiet side. So, I'm going to try and speak a little closer to the mic. So today, I'm bringing you my Horde of Notions deck 3.5. I'm calling it 3.5 because I edited it again recently. However, due to the spoilers in Dragons of Tarkir, I have already made a change in the deck, preemptively. Or at least a choice for the change in the deck. So, let's get down to it. So, Horde of Notions obviously does not normally look like this. This is my Altered Art Jinx Horde of Notions. It's actually a bit of a bad joke, but this isn't the time or place for that. Horde of Notions is a 5/5 for 5, one of each mana color, so it's a 5-color commander, with Vigilance, Haste, and Trample. You can activate its ability for one of each mana color, and cast an elemental creature card from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. So let's get into the ramp of the deck. So this is kind of an emergency button for ramp, which is Life from the Loam. Next up, we have Harrow, which is our instant speed ramp. We have Kodoma's Reach, Cultivate, Shard Convergence, to get all our shock lands that we could possibly need out of our deck. Sylvan Caryatid in our beginning of the creature section. Burnished Heart. Omnath, Locus of Mana. Krozen Tusker. Now, these have been in CMC, however, I count Krozen Tusker as a 3-drop rather than a 7 because I always cycle it. Knight of the Reliquary. Prophet of Krufix. Entering the artifact ramp section, we have Soul Ring. That was my altered art one, if that looked a little odd. Chromatic Lantern. Crucible of Worlds, to get your fetches back. Sword of Feast and Famine, to untap all your lands. Gilded Lotus. In the enchantment section, we have Exploration and Murari's Wake. That is the ramp, primarily for the deck. Moving on to card draw, which is extremely menial. We have Coiling Oracle, Muldrifter, Consecrated Sphinx, and Dig Through Time. Moving on to our tutor section, we have Worldly Tutor, Demonic Tutor, Trinket Mage, Guided Passage, Bringer of Black Dawns. Now, this is going to seem out of order, however, I always count Bringer as a 5-drop rather than a 9-drop because I can only remember one time out of all the times I've played EDH that I actually cast it for 9 rather than 5. And last but certainly not least, Conflux. So, into our kind of miscellaneous cascade section, we have Bloodbraid Elf. Unexpected results I kind of put in here because it doesn't fit anywhere else. Maelstrom Nexus, Ethereum Horn Sorcerer, and Enigma Sphinx. There is a Wanderer in the deck, but that's in a different section. So, in our recursion spot, we have a total of 1 spell, other than Life from the Loam, which is Praetor's Council, which is one of the best recursion spells available in Commander due to the fact that it gives you your entire graveyard back in your hand, as well as no maximum hand size for the rest of the game, for the cost of it being exiled. Next up we have just our kind of no specific category, artifacts. Skull Clamp, Quicksilver Amulet. That's it. In the spot removal section, which is light like it should be in all EDH decks, we have Condemn, Dreadbore, Vindicate, and Bant Charm. I always favor straight up tucking over destruction because of reanimation in EDH. Next up, we have mass removal spells. So we have Fire Spout, Wrath of God, Supreme Verdict, Rout, Terminus, and Martial Coup. In the mass land destruction slots, we have Armageddon and Boom and Bust. Boom and Bust can be cast extremely easily with a low Cascader because if you cascade into Boom, you can rather cast Bust. Next up, we have the haste enablers for the deck, other than the Wanderer. We have the Hammer of Perforos and the Urabrask the Hidden. Urabrask I thought about putting in the win conditions set, but it just didn't fit. It's just not that big a body, and it just essentially opens the way for the win conditions rather than being a win condition in itself. So, up next we have walkers. So, the 3 walkers for the current deck are Relzeric, Elspeth, Knight Errant, and Teferi, Temporal Archmage. Now, there is one walker that is immediately going into this deck upon its release, and that is going to be Narset, the Planeswalker version, that is. Due to the fact that this deck runs far more instant sorceries and artifacts and Planeswalkers than any other, well, that essentially just leaves lands and creatures, than anything else, I've decided that she is extremely useful, especially when you can rebound tutor effects in the deck, which is absolutely insane. Or, making a Life from the Loam rebound or whatever, you know, it's insanity. So I will be taking out a win condition for Narset, although this has been begging for a spot. Well, something to take its spot for quite a while, which is Thorn Elemental. Although Thorn Elemental is very good, it is not good enough, I feel a lot of the time. So Narset will be taking his place in the deck. So moving on to the win conditions, we have Colonian Hydra, Titania, one of my favorite combo pieces in the deck, Thornling, Maelstrom Archangel, Wormcoil Engine, Progenitor Mimic, Shieldred the Whispering One, Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger, Maelstrom Wanderer, Avacyn the Angel of Hope, and Akroma Angel of Wrath. Now we have two other win conditions that aren't really creatures, which are Rite of Replication and Villainous Wealth, because if I Villainous Wealth, I'm likely going to take half their library, because I'm really mean like that. So finally, we have the sideboard, which hasn't changed a whole lot. We have Sirak, Umezawa's Jite, Acquire, Disdainful Stroke, Counterspell, Dissolve, Utter End, Virtue's Ruin, and Rolling Earthquake. It is literally the same. You might notice that the Blightsteel's gone. That was due to a recommendation by somebody, because it's just a really mean card. And when you Possibility Storm into a Blightsteel Colossus from a evoked Muldrifter, people tend to get pretty mad. So, you know, it wasn't exactly my fault, but it happened. So my friend brought it up, and I was like, you know what, I think you're right. So Conflux took its place in the deck. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. And if you have anything you'd like to ask or say about the deck, leave it in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and or subscribe. And I'll be talking to you guys later. Take it easy.